such high aspirations, such lofty goals. One of those roads ends today.
No doubt. It is unbelievable how much pressure there is on both of these teams today. I mean, the fear is something you're going to have to get over, that you're going to have to conquer to make it through here. And FPX, after their disappointing finish at Masters Madrid, has done nothing but improve, done nothing but impress. As we see, pretty clean site take here for Team Heretics, space being given up by FPX. So this is all according to plan. It seems like they're going to set up for a retake, see if they can get it done, but that's a lot of damage to Autumn.
See how they choose to navigate this. That harbor wall and paranoia, barrage of utility already getting out onto the site, but Heretics wisely playing on the other side of it, not choosing to take the fight quite yet. Harbor up close to personal. Berlin will fall as Woot drops 2. The nade now to buy a little bit more time, and they have rolled the retake attempt from the defense.
Yeah, just a little bit of extra room behind that high tide for TH to work with.
Nice or snappy onto the first, but cannot connect beyond that.
It's quick, man. I mean, Team Heretics is given the space. FPX, this is what they want to do. And they try to use that high tide to allow themselves the ability to get into a good spot to go for the diffuse, but it's just well read here by Team Heretics. And I think this little bit of extra space for Voot to work with and identify,
right,
just kind of open the doors here for them to really just make sure that any of those aggressive pushes that they'll sometimes do through those high tides, that is one of the trickier things to deal with against FPX on this map, is when they're going to be aggressive on the back of those harbor smokes. Are they going to push through them or not? Are they going to try to throw util at you through them or not? It's a very difficult proposition for them, but off the rip, Team Heretics looking pretty clean so far. Let's see what they want to do. Is there's a big stack through mid here for FPX, but a spot.
A cheeky little spot on top of the box. Will spot anyone trying to swing through the tiles, and sure enough, FPX fall on the back of that. That round was very quick, it was decisive, and I think for FPX, you want to gamble there a little bit, right? Send a deathball down mid, as you mentioned, and hopefully you're able to overwhelm and outnumber the opposition. It just didn't turn out to be the case.
No doubt about it, and this is something that this FPX team is not afraid to do, is to run at you on their defender side of this map. And again, it's on the back of some of those extra layers of smokes that you have built into this composition.
Right.
Absolutely what you have to try here as FPX. And I'm really curious because I felt like, Doug, against Foot, they were a lot more aggressive. Like
I would agree.
They were really willing to push through and try some of those really crazy plays, especially off the back of Life's Yoru. But against Gen G, it felt a little bit more reserved on this map. So, oh my God, Autumn, you absolute monster!
Oh, the reservations all being disregarded now. Autumn just destroys them.
Well, I mean, that's just,
Gun here.
you know, kind of gambling here a little bit as Team Heretics, trying to push through that smoke. And Autumn was just ready for it.
Sometimes the gambles really don't go your way.
Goodness.
And you know, it's been so much fun to watch this FPX team, because I do think they bring a really fun approach to the game. They provide a little bit something different, and you know, I've talked about it a couple times. I've had the pleasure of casting these guys. Is that harbor wall that they just tried clearing is such a nuisance to get through. You have to clear it 2 times, potentially 3, depending on your pathing. You certainly don't want to face it, because then Autumn's going to do to you what he just did. So you have to use utility to get B-main control, and that's often space that's free.
Exactly. Exactly. Who's going to find Lysor there, but it is what makes them so challenging to play against, Doug, is you never know what's going on the other side of those high tides.
Left.
And Gen G, I think, played it really well, where they were very patient behind it. Now, this is the bonus for Team Heretics, so you want to see what they're showing you, that's fine.
Boo in a 1v3. Spotting all targets now. He's grabbed the spike. Paper Thin, he's getting away.
This is great.
10
This is
seconds
huge
left.
value for Team Heretics. I mean, think about, they get an extra gun out of the hands of
Spike
FPX.
planted.
They're going to get the spike planted, get that extra cash for that. This is phenomenal.
And that's worst case scenario at this point. I mean, best case scenario, he shatters the hearts of FPX.
That would be unthinkable in some ways.
A smoke already used. Footsteps given away. He's biding his time. He's patient with it. He's going to catch them both. The Cove to provide a little bit of cover. No position given away quite yet. Berlin has gotten it to half now on the tap. He has to face it, and he will fall.
Oh, that's that extra layer of security that the Harbor is going to provide you in moments like that, where you know your opponent doesn't have any mollies to clear that Cove. Really nicely handled by FPX, but what a bounce back after a crazy start there from Autumn. I mean, this is just 1, 2, 3. Oh, what a transfer there on that third.
It's clean.
Disgusting. I mean, already coming out here with some pacey play from both teams, and it doesn't seem like the pressure of this moment is really kind of affecting their play style. You'll see teams come into these games where it's do or die, where you have no other options but win or lose, or your tournament life is done, and they kind of take it slow. But these two teams aren't afraid of each other, and I love it.
No, not yet. I think if we see any of those cracks show, it will be later in the series. But so far, I would have to agree with you and echo that sentiment. They look steady, they look solid on both sides of the ball. So into the 4th round we go.
Look at how far Berlin's got up towards mid-bottom. I mean, he is deep in enemy territory, and they have no idea.
No, they are going to have that trip from Benji to kind of keep them back. And obviously his positioning will certainly help as well.
But he might be able to catch Benji post-plant or trying to back up the team on the execute.
And then the trip is down, the site is open, and chaos will inevitably ensue. For now, a quiet approach.
Benji at least a little bit aware.
He's got to understand something's going on here. Meanwhile, Woot with the rocket pop trying to pick his timings and does so successfully. Meanwhile, Berlin is still behind them. Hyung is going to fall. Rians will too, but Benji Fishy now on the swing. Face turn towards the site. Berlin not able to capitalize on the position that he had. And now Autumn, who got a 1v3 in the previous round to open it up, is going to have to close it in the same way.
This is a team that doesn't like to save very often, Doug. They'll go for it, even in these situations that look unwinnable. Let's see if Autumn is going to commit.
This is pretty close to unwinnable. This is, I mean, as close as you can possibly get. A 1v3 with no real idea of where anyone is, and they have such good crossfire setup. As soon as there's contact on one, the swing inevitably will come from the other two. So a great round from Woot. You saw him pop the showstopper, get a couple of kills there, and then clean things up at the end to get Heretics their 3rd.
Exactly, and I think what's even more impressive for Team Heretics here is kind of the game plan behind the information they get off the util, where they use 2 different mollies to smother out Ion behind the generator, and Benji Fish's complete awareness of the space they had given up, the complete awareness to be making sure that he's being diligent watching for that lurk. In this case, it was Berlin who was doing the lurking, but I'm very impressed with Team Heretics so far in their game plan on this attacker side. And this is a map that FPX, about 50-50 on both sides of the map throughout this event, but it is really interesting. One of the things that really intrigued me about this map draft, Doug, was that this is the 3 maps that these 2 teams are basically the best at.
Right. It's good against good, right?
Yes.
There's no like obvious advantage either way.
Exactly. I love that, man. I love that they're all just giving it their best here today, showing their best maps and having the confidence to lean into that.
Was that one of those competitive platitudes?
It was one of those competitive platitudes. Absolutely that was.
Color me shocked. They want to do the best they can, huh? Hard-hitting analysis here in Shanghai, ladies and gents. A pistol for FPX, just 1 rifle in the hands of Hyung. And it's much like we saw a couple of rounds ago, right? When they were down, when they were in an eco, they fully pushed down mid as a death ball. This time the flavor's a little bit different, but the meal is the same. It's all B.
Yeah, man. They're showing a little bit of willingness to try to go for retakes, try to use that harbor to their advantage. Saw it work in 1 round in the very late stages of it. Ooh, Wuko, better for that trade against Berlin.
Boy, I thought he was going to hit that shot.
He had it lined up.
I think this is pretty big for Heretics here. You take a look at their economy right now, it's pretty healthy. And if they can get through this while losing as little as possible, I mean, this is only going to make things considerably worse. The one thing, if you think about FPX and you're kind of concerned about their setup right now and the score is, their attack side is a treat to watch. It's so much fun to watch, so I think if there was to be an advantage somewhere, if we had to try to look for one, that's where it would be, as Woot is just eco-farming his way to 4. Potentially 5, the ace on the other side, and a big lead for Heretics. Paper thin, I think it's only getting bigger.
Feels that way. Confidence looks through the roof right now for Heretics in terms of just feeling out the map, understanding where the open space is being given and taking advantage of it. And I mean, this is just Woot never really leaving his perch.
He never had to.
Nope. Never any util or anything like that to try to displace him. Just trying to go for these ego peaks. So this is something that when I was casting FPX versus Gen G, that I noticed a lot with FPX is they're happening, beating all the best teams in China, including EDG. Yeah, they fell to them in the finals, but they beat them before that.
Yeah.
And to be able to be that second team behind EDG, to qualify past the group stage, to get into those playoffs would be monumental.
Well, I mean, and to think about how they opened the tournament, right? First win in front of this crowd,
yes.
Right? This place was electric.
Oh, it's nuts.
And Autumn continues to cause problems on B. He's gotten away with more. Life is joining in on the fun. The spike has not left B main.
Great hold. Like showing a different look here from FPX, contesting at the point of execute to shut down Team Heretics. It's a good call in the timeout here by Nathan. It's something they haven't really shown too much yet. They've only been mostly playing retake, other than the aggressive push out into B main from Autumn.
Oh, Boo is trying to slip the net, and he's done it. Not bad, man.
Unfair.
I don't know what he saw there. Shout out Joey, the GOAT, will inevitably give us a replay of that because that was filth.
Yeah, Boo, man. Absolutely turning up big. It's him and Rienz find more open space. I have to give Team Heretics, a ton of credit for the way that they're able to, even in these bad starts in these rounds, find the open space, work their way through to get these plants down, and make FPX have to earn these rounds.
Honestly, very reminiscent of how FPX approached the attack side.
Yes.
But Heretics with a 3-run lead and an opportunity to devastate the opposition even more.
You have the dimensional drift.
For them to win this round would be insane. You're right. Life popping his ult, and that will help.
Here.
Any info found is an advantage gained. Who has to TP away? He's gotten into the smoke. The flash is there. Life will fall. They've gotten it down to 2.
Last player
Again,
standing.
this would be devastating. Can Berlin win out this 1v1? Rian's on the other side. He's tucking tail. He's running away. He's going to use the Cove to get the defuse again, but the ult used. He's got it to have. He's got to dance around it. Manages to do so. Where's the second shot? The time will run out, and the spike will go off. Chaos again.
It's unbelievable awareness here from Boo. Here's the dimensional drift. Has a good read on about the time that Life is going to be crossing his path, and use that opportunity to set himself. You have got to be kidding me. He sees a pixel. That is a pixel out of place. He sees Fade's hair. Takes him down. Absolutely disgusting. But Boo wins this round here in the end. He uses that smoke, TPs into it around the exact time that they're going to be coming at him around the corner. Completely throws off FPX. And what in the world's going on?
Oh dear. Okay, but then I'm starting to get worried about this. This is getting out of hand very quickly. Eco frags, yes, but this is now the 3rd time, and all the rifle rounds are going the way of Heretics as well. You think about that 2v3 that we just saw, that hurts, man.
It hurts. And the Rien's, able to get that Hunter's Fury and puts him, he knows the time clicking down there, knows that he can put himself in a position where he can use the Hunter's Fury 100% safe. It's just brilliant from him and Boo in that previous round, but this round, all down to the guns. I suppose you have a showstopper if you feel like it, but I don't expect that to be invested.
No. I think the tough thing about this, and this is where I would love to get your thoughts, is, I mean, they've already called a timeout, so they've already had a conversation around what adjustments need to be made. Obviously, they haven't really been fruitful. Do you call another timeout and then just kind of go hands off the wheel for the rest of the map? Do you risk it and then make another adjustment and hope that that's enough to salvage this half? Because it's been disaster up until this point.
No doubt. I'm very curious about how Nathan will approach that as the coach. Kind of glad him with the shorty. Yeah. Batty Tech is going to find the final kill in the round 3 for him in that anti-eco, but in my opinion, it all depends on how much trust I have in my IGL. And right now, I'd probably wait this out a little bit longer to give Berlin the chance to show that he can find the adjustments himself mid-round here to dial up something. I mean, Berlin has been beautiful on the fly. He's been beautiful creatively this tournament.
Yeah, he has.
But I think in what I've watched from FPX, I think they're going to wait it out maybe, but we could be wrong.
There was an opportunity that you cannot let go. This is it.
Exactly. And this is a round where I'm actually fine with them playing retake because your opponent has the showstopper and the null command. Give them that extra space. Set up yourselves for that nightfall, for that reckoning. And I think that's kind of maybe the plan. Life sticks around a little bit, sets his TP up on the back of generator. So this is kind of one of those, it's looking to me like one of those tricky plays, but he's just sticking around.
Yeah, there's nowhere for him to go. He's stuck. He's caught. He's lit up. And he's dead. There was no exit strategy for him there.
Curious.
Now spotting another as Woot's got 3 more just on this round. FPX really feel like they squander another opportunity.
They found my one.
But the round is far. Well, never mind. No, it's done.
Goodbye to you.
It's done, and this half is likely done as well.
It's tough. What it looked like to me there with where the gate crash was in the back of the generator, that he was supposed to be out of that site a little bit sooner, but got caught up on utility or something. I'm not exactly sure.
And then dive back in the chaos.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah,
Exactly.
You're right. I agree.
But he just never gets the opportunity. The pace is too good. The confidence is too high right now for Team Heretics, especially with Woot absolutely destroying 18-3. He's on pace to like probably set the ACS record for a map in an international event. I would guess he's pretty close, if not, there already. That helps.
This guy is unreal. 19 kills in 9 rounds, and potentially more to be found.
It's bananas.
This is also a concerning time for teams because this is often where you see players force the matter. This is where you start to see some of these swings that are ill-advised, that you kind of feel the need to go out and make a play, kind of turn things in your favor as best as you can. We'll see if that's the case for FPX. They have found no success, really, on either side of the game. Life with an opener onto Woot. They're finally getting the best of him. They've invested the Nightfall as well. All 3 of them, well, 3 of them are going to be tagged. The only one who's not is Benji Fishy, who's playing a little bit further off, waiting for any flank that might come through. His life falls, still attempting to get through main to try to stop this. Somehow the spam onto the spike, trying to conceal the defuse, still gets a kill they need. And now Lysor with no time, no teammates, no armor, very little health, is able to drop 2 with them, but that's another round going the way of Heretics.
And he dies for that too. That's almost not worth with the economy that FPX is sitting on. I mean, yeah, it's nice to get those extra kills. Maybe that's a feel-good moment for you, but I mean, Woot's just too clean. I mean, Autumn, last time he challenged that position, did very well. This time Woot's ready for it, just takes him down. Life with a tap of the spike here to bait out the util. I like that, but his gate crash got clean by Team Heretics. That was going into the back corner of B main. They heard it, they took it down.
It was the night. I mean, the Fatal should have concealed everything, right? They couldn't have heard it with the exception of Benji
very
Fishy.
true. You got a good point there.
He was the only one who wasn't tagged by it, and that must have been the cue for them to spam onto the spike.
Excellent point, Doug. They just read it like a book. They knew what FPX wanted to do. Here goes Life again. Done.
And he goes straight into the next. This has been a slaughter. An absolute slaughter. And this feels like one of those forced situations. I mean, they do have 3 rifles to play around, though. They've invested the Reckoning too.
He doesn't know.
Ion position given away, head taken off.
Oh my God.
Who just made that look like mechanic? That he looked robotic.
Yeah.
That did not look human.
They're feeling it. It's insane. That was absolutely nuts from him.
This feels like the Heretics that we saw in their first match.
Yes.
Of the tournament. And I think the devastating question that has to be answered in the shroud of silence that's facing the question is, how do you stop this? How do you slow this down? Because I think you pose that question to FPX right now, you're going to be met with crickets.
Yep.
They have no answers.
Done. And on this map on attacker side, that's to put up a showing like this. And think about this, Doug. After this, we find out the order of how the teams are going to be able to pick their opponents, right? I'm watching this game, and maybe you're thinking this is one of the teams you're looking at. Not right now.
Yeah.
Not right now.
How about we knock them down the list?
Yeah.
1 or 2 spots.
How about Gen G?
All of a sudden, texture doesn't sound so bad.
Yeah. This Woot guy's kind of good.
22-4. I believe the greatest KD difference and ACS record was set by Tens.
Yes, plus 25.
Yeah,
against
something stupid like that. Yeah.
I remember.
And I wonder, I mean, we may be flirting with history here. And unfortunately, that's not the history FPX was looking to make.
Well, that's a record I didn't think would be broken.
And then Woot happened.
Yes.
FPX fully investing into trying to hold B main. Woot once again with a height advantage. A rocket in between Berlin's eyes.
Unbelievable. And they have the neural theft too. I mean, all the information in the world to work with. They see some space over on A. Woot being very patient with it, knowing that he's not exactly sure what's around that corner. One way comes down again, so have to take your time and use the owl drone to make sure that you're safe to move a little bit forward. The paranoia, but really doesn't catch anybody on Team Heretics, just the owl drone itself, so it's free reign for them. Let's see what FPX can do.
I wonder if they choose to hit here because they have to understand that FPX is rotated. They haven't tried concealing their approach. They haven't tried concealing this attempt. But it doesn't matter. It genuinely doesn't matter. They're fully transparent in their intentions, and they're still finding success.
Every time FPX wants to do something, peek, use util, it's shut right down. There's no answers that FPX has been able to find that haven't been read and accounted for by Team Heretics.
Team Ace.
A 10-1 half the way of Heretics. And yes, they're map pick, and yeah, you know, all that nonsense, but even going up against your opposition's map pick, as you mentioned earlier in the cast, this is a good map for them. It was a good map for them this tournament.
Yep.
And they look like they've never played it before.
No, you're absolutely right. This is a good map. Also at the group stage, during stage 1, for FPX as well. I think they were like 67% on this map, like 2-1. It is shocking, to be honest. I did not expect FPX to come out like this. They're usually hot off the start. Against Gen G, they were rocking and rolling on Lotus.
The paranoia is super early. There's a little bit of a swing there up from Ayang. He tried catching the timing, but Patatek was ahead of it.
They're pressing, Doug. Okay, here comes the dimensional drift. An opportunity here. Is he just going to go for this? No. Okay. Just got the info.
Yeah, he just gets info, and then they can kind of control where he is. I'm surprised they didn't really understand where Berlin was. He gets his 2, but so does Boo. They've got to shut the door on this round. An 11-1 lead going into halftime would be devastating. Life has gotten so close, but again, it's a 1-for-1, and those numbers don't add up.
See, Autumn's not going to get a chance now to use his neural theft either.
No.
He's going to have to rely on his own shooting. There's no dead bodies on the other side of the map for him to pop that ult and try to get a little bit of extra info. It's just going to have to be on his trap wires that are still here.
And they've both just been hit. The knife tagged him. So they're able to cross on past the second one. He's got to know that there's a timing. The Woot will fall, and so will Patatek. The Red Bull clutch to close the half for FPX.
Oh boy. Well, we'll see. I mean, can FPX channel another miracle like they did against Foot on Icebox? Are they going to be able to find that unbelievable comeback? That's the real question. I mean, Autumn's been great for them, especially in clutch moments in this event. It's nice to see him step up here. I guess, frankly, the 2 rounds they won were
him. Yeah. And the 3K at the beginning of the round in B main, and then that 1v2 at the end. Gets them to 2.
Watching Benji Fish this year, the way that he is perpetually positive, he's just always bigging up his team. His mechanics are out of this world. It never seems like he lets go of the gas pedal, and that's something that has been a big part of their success so far this year, is all of those in-game and out-of-game things that he brings are just truly, truly astounding, and something that any Valorant team would love to have. So absolutely, Team Heretics doing a great job getting him onto this roster and finding a great pickup for their team. Gatecrash going to be set up behind A main. They try to work their way forward. Going to use that fake out, but not really much to do with it except back off for Team Heretics with this high tide here. Again, you're just not exactly sure now. Is FPX going to commit to this or not? Are they going to try to challenge you on the other side of it or not?
Oh, and I think that's the thing. The first time we saw FPX play this map, they did such a good job of feeling out the map, finding out where utility was, and then hitting the opposite side. They did such a good job of manipulating rotations like a puppet master to find open space and then capitalize on it. So the thing about this approach that I'm seeing here is there's nothing set up to take space elsewhere.
Correct.
Like they made plenty of noise A, but there was nothing B main. There was nothing already up on market. Now they're poised to do a little bit more of that with a little bit of presence B, but the spike is down. It's going to be a life to pick us up. If he falls too, this could be disaster, but manages to stay alive, manages to drop Rien's. Now, FPX still had an opportunity to close this thing out. 1-for-1. Benji Fishy getting the best of Ayang. Autumn. That got messy. That was ugly. But still, 10 seconds left. He's not going to make it in time.
He can't. It's actually not possible. Just need to survive. I mean, that works too.
Yeah, I don't know that he would have had time to plan it anyway, but this is unfortunately also the problem with this approach on the attack side, is if you burn that midnight oil a little bit too much, if that candle gets a little bit too low, the wick extinguishes.
Yeah.
And you don't have time to really do anything, and that's part of what FPX ran into there.
And it's concerning, Doug, because as great as FPX has been this event, the first two matches, they were superb. They were phenomenal. I was enthralled with this team. I predicted them to win today, and I believed in that.
Likewise.
That isn't like a hometown advantage or anything like that.
No, likewise, yeah.
I was bought in, but the brightest flames sometimes burn the quickest, and that may be what we're seeing here today.
That's definitely been the case on Sunset. We'll see if the rest of the series has anything else to say. No force on the side of the attack. A heavy lean B. Life has already gotten out towards site and is tagged for it. The small price he had to pay was a 70 HP. Ooh! A little 1-for-1 there. And a little bit of info gathered. They're making this expensive, if nothing else. Autumn's caught, though. He's really got nowhere to go. And the bigger issue with that is that now Ayang is by himself.
Got the gun.
That Guardian's so hard to steady shots when it's that close.
Enemy remaining.
But he'll nail it.
Spike down.
And now it's on
B.
Autumn to try to rotate back B and pick up the pieces.
Just the sheriff to work with. No guns until he probably clears at least 2 for him to pick up. Unless they give that space open, but you can see Woot watching it very closely. It gets clipped in the leg, but now that's info given over, and now Heretics can just
30 seconds left.
smoke him out and wait him out.
I know, Autumn's laughing. He understands.
He knows.
Yeah, his situation, his life has been decided. It's been accounted for.
Oh, does he know someone got behind him? Nope.
That's just such a miserable position to be in.
It is.
So Heretics will get to map point. Yes, they're a map pick, but a complete slaughter of FPX from top to bottom.
Well, this is more dominant than what they showed against DRG.
Yep.
That's crazy to think about.
The team that many people considered unfortunately, the worst team here at the tournament.
Sure. Absolutely. And DRG, to their credit, played out of their minds yesterday on Ascent especially.
They did.
Very impressed with their ability to bounce back and, you know, kind of what could be a situation that some teams might just kind of roll over a bit, but here for FPX, it's just not their day so far. And I mean, at this point, 10 in a row seems unthinkable. That seems like a 1 in a billion.
A fairy tale.
Cover going out.
No, they're just going to try to spread the map this time. Try to get through. That's just the fake out. Getting the info on where Benji Fishy's util is. But Woot is confident, aggressive, going for some more kills.
If I was 25-6, I'd be confident too. 25-7 now.
Gonna use their util. I mean, this is looking more like what you like to see from FPX, where they're using these smokes to take space, to get information, using their util to clean out the opponent's util. But it's come so late, Doug.
Yeah. They dug themselves so deep a hole at the beginning of this map. The first half goes so horribly sideways.
And then you lose the pistol.
Right, and it's over. It's wraps.
Too suppressed.
But for the culture, this would be the most ridiculous comeback of all time.
30
It would.
seconds left.
This would be the most ridiculous.
Just to be clear. Just to be clear. Berlin falls a 4v4 for the rest of the round. Potentially the closing moments of Sunset.
Time. They got to make the hit, and they got to make it now.
They've got Autumn in a really nice spot, though, to strike, and that's exactly what he does. So they're going to get the space they need to get the spike down and play at least one more round.
Spike planted.
And that they do. FPX up to 3.
For what it's worth, that's a fantastic round.
It was, yeah.
It's
it was
all
great.
the things that you want out of this team. Out of this composition. Baiting util, clearing space with smokes, working the sites, expecting the lurks, cleaning those out, getting some deep pushes, finding flank angles. It's hard to draw up around better than they just played that one. But it's such a long road ahead. And even after this map, going into map 2, another map that both teams are very, very good at. And, you know, they were just barely able to beat Gen G in overtime on Lotus. Heretics looked great against G2. So this is worrying, to say the least.
Conventional wisdom would suggest that we're likely going to play another round, given the bye for Heretics and how underwhelming it is, just a Guardian in the hand of Rians. But as we've seen a number of times in this tournament already, these are often the rounds that close maps.
Yes, and these players are nuts. Individually, the mechanics have shined today, shined throughout this event. So they can pop off with those sheriffs and just end your round in a heartbeat when you're least expecting it. So a lot of space being given up in mid, but again, this is pretty par for the course so far for Team Heretics on their defender side. They're happy to try to catch you on the way into these sites. And I think eventually, FPX is probably going to not like what they see. They're going to use the dimensional drift to try to clear. Okay, this makes a lot of sense. Find Benji Fishy, you find the trap wire, you're finding Riens, getting a lot of info, you're getting a lot of space. Should be able to get this plant down, I suspect.
Across the middle of the map, too. They're so far inserted here. Paranoia, but no one there on the challenge. Autumn holding over the shoulders. The second Paranoia goes out. Woot goes aggressive. The satchel in his face, not able to steady the shots of the Sheriff. Pad attack on the swing, and Benji Fishy tries to punish with the classic. And it's a 1v1. But Ion saves the day just when it looked like it was going to be disaster again. The 1v1 goes the way of the home crowd.
I mean, it's a beautiful Paranoia to set up this market push. It's just the gun advantage is so firmly in the control of FPX here. The Red Bull clutch going their way. I mean, Patty Tech. Nasty, nasty shots. Weakened life there off the back of Benji Fishy's classic. Gives him that third. Stepping out, Ion, very ready for it. And look, here's something you can say. Let's say they string together 3 or 4 more rounds here as FPX. That's a lot of confidence going into the next match.
Sure, if nothing else.
Yes.
Yeah. It's a tough way for that to go, too. On the replay, you can see a Pad attack. His flash didn't clear the corner. He had flashed himself, and there wasn't really anything on the other side. So just a tough way for that to go, but still 8 rounds to go. Still 8 rounds to play around.
Here's that same high tide. Boo does clear some of that utility, but he's going to try to maybe challenge that a little bit, see if he can get a pick. A lot of time bought for the rotations to come through for the rest of Team Heretics. They're going to try to contain FPX if they can, but with that blast pack noise being made, FPX doesn't like it anymore. And they're going to spread the map.
No, they did draw out the Paranoia from Boo, though.
That's huge.
We'll buy a little bit more time.
Not ready yet.
Meanwhile, Lysor using his towards market. Benji Fishy again with a lot of pressure. This is more what we expected.
Yes.
All of the noise they just made market intended to manipulate rotations for them to go back B and then them strike A. And they find a little bit of space, but Woot is still around. Finally falling, but not without getting his damage, not without getting his 2 kills. Now Reckoning intended to push Heretics back by a little bit of time. Now the ferocious attempt at a retake is afoot. Benji Fishy has his ult. No real target to use it on Berlin on the spam. He pays for it with his life as he falls. Ion and Lysor are the only 2 remaining to try to keep this map alive. To spam through the smoke, not connecting, but he's doing his best. He's doing his damnedest. Both members weak, but still so much to do. Can Ion close it out on his own? Can he stay alive to get all 3? Oh, the clip runs dry. What a sad way for that to end. But still, what a dominant map win for Heretics. I'll talk to him. I'll put in good word for you. I certainly hope this goes to Icebox, but we'll see what FPX can do. I think the one benefit to him, and I believe Mimi was talking about it on the desk, is it's an interesting decision for them to start off on the defensive side, or maybe it was Kukuga. I'm sorry, I don't remember who it was. But for FPX to start on attack should give them a little bit of room here.
I agree. I think this is obviously the side that FPX has looked amazing on.
Right.
Not just against Gen G, but throughout their entire stage 1. on this particular map. It's really explosive. They're really difficult to deal with. They've got such great reads on their opponent's positionings off the back of their own smokes. Like, how many times do we see them just know exactly when one of their smokes goes down that they're just right there and ready to take them out? I mean, that's a huge advantage of having the Astra and the Viper is you control the tempo of that controller utility to your own desire. And they were just shutting Gen G down on this attacker side.
We're starting to see some adjustments, at least from FPX, on how they're solving the issue of not being able to reposition your Viper Orb. Generally, it's an orb that's put where the Omen smoke was just a moment ago, so you can get the cross and not have to worry about stairs and then scale up and then reposition it, put the orb further back. This time they're using an Omen smoke. Autumn still has his orb to play around, so these little micro decisions now investing it into stairs.
Yeah, I really like the way that they control space and they give themselves fallback plans with that Viper wall. But Life just going to be trying to push, but he gets caught by the trap.
Instantly gets spammed too. Not getting fully punished. No fatal exchange on the other side, but enough to make you think twice about it. Down to 54 HP, the snap on Wood is perfect, and he's the one that's got to go down. He was a terror in the previous map, and it seems like Life is taking over where Woot left off. A massive start for FPX. He's gotten 4, and at this point, you got to go for it.
They want it. Might not get it, though. Boo is going the other way. Yeah, Autumn gonna clean it up, but oh me, oh my. That's a good way to start things off. That's a good way to get that sunset out of your memory, to wipe the slate clean, to reset. And Life doesn't get much better than this. 3 headshots with the Sheriff. That third one is nasty.
3 bullets, 3 kills. It was perfect.
Something they couldn't do on Sunset, win a pistol. Starting things off on the right foot. And yeah, I mean, I'm still thinking back to the fact that Heretics did pick defender side first. I think that's a confident decision in a way, but it's potentially the wrong one. And these Outlaws in particular were so difficult for Gen G to deal with. Especially on this attacker side. Life was just, this was murderer's row here for him.
Here.
May have just spotted his first target too. Boo taking a step back.
There.
Choosing not to jump spot anymore, wisely.
He learned from Texture's mistakes.
They're spreading the map here a little bit. A tap of the door from Berlin towards C.
Recovering it.
And it is going to cause rotates.
Yeah, they're being really cautious with this early utility. They're really trying to figure out where the stack is as best as they can, but Heretics is pushed so far back. I mean, they're not giving up any space, any info. They're giving up space, they're not giving up info in terms of where their position is, and they're trying to be quick to rotate, trying to, I believe, trying to hit FPX at the point of attack. It's going to be a pivot over towards the B site, potentially have that trap wire there, give you the info, but here they go.
Oh, that nade. That's a little friendly fire. It didn't fully
30
clear.
seconds left.
Ion turning over on the flash. Berlin teeing off with 2.
Enemy remaining.
That Outlaw costed so many problems. That's a great round from FPX, all things considered.
Huge. You keep both Vandals and both Outlaws? It doesn't get any better than that. Unless you keep 5, but I mean, in some ways you don't really care. You get the orb anyway. The weakest gun is gone from that buy. And now you force your opponents to have to buy those full armors. That is disgusting.
Yeah, that second shot was filth.
Oh my gosh. Different map, different team so far. And that's what you want.
Careful.
You know, they've been really cautious at the beginning of these rounds. It wasn't until towards the end of the half and the end of the map where it got really kind of cluttered and messy between FPX and Gen G. This is where FPX was at their best, was when they were taking their time. They were working angles. They were finding players out. They were getting the info, using their smokes later to cover their moves. And these Outlaws are just so difficult. There's only one player, though. Benji Fish used 1 shot to these. Of course, he is the player that could be first up.
Naturally, the first to be challenged. Cam currently not triggered. Oh, he's slipped. He's played a little limbo. He's gotten under it, and he has no idea.
Pulling that concealment.
I love it. I love it, Doug.
Now the sight wide open. They have some utility. You see some of it used there by Rians to try to kind of dissuade the plan for a little bit longer, to buy some time. The nade is going to hurt a tad more, not really connecting on the suck combo. Numbers heavily in way of FPX. Rians was just flashed 2 times, if I'm not mistaken. Now the smoke. Spam comes through. He can't really cross, not safely. This has all the makings of a bonus.
Hey, you got to save. And I think they know it.
I love this from FPX too. They're going to push it. Smelling blood in the water, they decide that they want to hunt. The question is, how far will they go?
Boo trying to separate himself as much as he can from FPX, but there's still a bit of time for them to find him. He's going to hear some footsteps.
Swiggity swooty. They're not coming for it anymore. Just ruined the line, man. That's
I know.
tragic.
They did you dirty there, Doug.
But that is a bonus conversion. And again, we just watched a team get obliterated on Sunset. They only won 4 rounds. They're already up to 3 here. Winning the bonus is massive in putting together a really good half here.
This is phenomenal. I'm so ecstatic with FPX's ability to bounce back after an incredibly rough map. And they're right back into it. I mean, again, these Outlaws, if you could keep them through the bonus, then your opponent's just even more in trouble. Insane.
Shots not settling. They did lose life,
Did good.
but they have, I mean, literally every other advantage you could possibly fathom. Rians with info and space. A flash in the face of Ion.
Down A.
Will drop him too, but ultimately falls. Meets a similar outcome.
Did what he could, Doug. He played
yeah.
that angle really well. The way he staggered his backpedaling, threw that flash out at a perfect time. Not bad for the individual play, but still all the work in the world to do. And that felt like it took a little bit too long for FPX. They said, gave him too much time to rotate, show him a different look. Still that C's to work with for Patatek.
And again, man, this is where FPX are at their best. This is why their attack side is so much fun to watch, is those little things. And honestly, they're doing it when they have a numbers advantage and a gun advantage. They're not risking anything by just fully sending into A. Even in advantageous situations, they're playing the map carefully. Berlin slams the door on what was almost really bad. I thought Benji was going for a clip there.
It had that moment where it felt like it. But yeah, this is FPX at their best. Now Life has the showstopper. So even though you're finally able to get back into a bye here as Heretics, you're going to pump the brakes and think about it. And I think this is very wise. Stop this bleeding as soon as possible. It's all out of control.
EMEA is a region, and I mean, they have winning built into their DNA.
Correct.
And you think about the tenure of Valorant and the pedigree that they've been able to put together, the resume that they've amassed. And you're playing for more than yourself when you come to these international stages. You're playing for regional pride, and I think for Heretics, it looked really good on Sunset, but it's been anything but on Lotus. So on the other side of this timeout, we'll see what adjustments have been made. See a little bit of a different look on how Benji's set up his trips.
Early operator for Life. Once again, so much value out of those snipers on this map for him. And now he has the showstopper as well, so kind of curious how they're going to run that. If they're going to drop it and let him use his util to entry, or if they're going to try the Thrash for the entry, maybe on B side or something like that. Do what they've been doing all map, kind of rotate back over to A, cut off Baby Door, and then swing back through. And you've got so much potential with that showstopper and a Thrash to clear that site.
You call it Baby Door?
Yeah. Is that not what you call it?
No.
What do you call it?
We're having this conversation later.
Oh.
You see so much of the utility invested half wall. They haven't really gained a ton of space. Now to see the smoke go out backstairs, traded by Booze, and there's the Thrash that they're going to use. Life did drop the op, but turned it over into hands of Autumn, so now Life perhaps a little bit more unleashed. That's a point up close and personal, point blank up. Well, where did the bullets go? What? They all disappeared. Life still with the punish.
Is there a force field there?
And now 13 seconds left. They still haven't fully stabilized onto the site. They've got to get the spike down, and you've got to deal with Benji Fish, who's on the flank. His timing is perfect. The first shot delivered. The second, devastating. Everything going the way of Heretics there.
Oh my.
Not ready yet.
I mean, that looked like it was going to be disaster for Heretics. Somehow, Autumn survives. Brought a riot shield to that round. I mean,
Dude,
it felt like...
freaking plot armor.
Yeah, dude.
Where does it go?
Unbelievable there. I mean, at least Life able to get Woot, but that huge entry kill from Riens opens up just that extra angle, I think, here for Benji Fishy to wrap around the backside, and he played that beautifully. There is no better way to do it. He just did. He knew the time that was left on the clock, and he knew he could take that extra second to look for the planter, take them down, and really guarantee the round. Excellent, excellent heads-up play from Benji Fishy.
A play that we've seen botched
So many, yeah.
on so many different occasions.
But he's so good on Cypher. I've just been enthralled watching him this year, Doug. The way that he manages his own sights, the way that he anchors, the way that he outthinks people in particular is so impressive. He's just so maneuverable. He's so aware of what's going on around him and the space that he can use against his opponents. I think back to like that split 4K he had earlier this year was nuts.
They're going to need more out of them if Heretics want to make this thing competitive again, because FPX have really, other than that moment, have played borderline perfect Valorant.
Yes.
And they're back to these similar antics again, making noise at different areas around the site. They just dropped a Paranoia back towards Worm, but now fully committing. That's going to draw out the Rolling Thunder. They haven't fully committed onto this. Spike is still sitting back B main.
You watch it, find it.
They're happy to cut their losses and then flip. But Heretics a step ahead of it here. They're already rotating on to C. The Cosmic Divide will only buy so much time because they're already ahead of it. Who gets on top with the rocket? Drops Berlin. Ion and Lysor are the only two that remain with 10 seconds left. There's no room to be had. There's no spike to be planted. That's another round the way of Heretics.
Awesome stuff here from both teams. Honestly, I really like the thought process into what goes into this round. For Heretics, it's kind of simple. Rolling Thunder into a showstopper. Easy combo.
Yeah, that works great.
Yeah, but FPX, they only send only one in to that Rolling Thunder, essentially. Everybody else can get out and try to rotate. It's just Team Heretics makes a great call on the back of that Cosmic Divide to get ahead of it. To just say, nope, okay, we're going to push past it, and we're going to start knocking people down.
Well, and I think they're starting to get a read on how FPX like to play. And we've been talking about this entire series. FPX commit just enough to make you think that it's the real hit. But then you commit to it in response, and you realize it's all just smoke and mirrors, and they're actually flipping the map somewhere else. And in that instance, it felt like Heretics dialed in on it. They were a step ahead of it.
Yeah, and credit to Boo there. The on-the-fly decision-making for Heretics. The rest of that squad, Life going to be watching out, suspecting someone's going to be here. Get the confirmation. I'll have to clear the boom bot. Here he goes. He got caught on the wire, though.
Fortunately, though, that Paranoia kept Hat Attack away from being able to punish. Now a dog in his face, and they traded for it. Wingman going in, and just like that, dying. But they've committed to this here. Berlin is going to be really far away from the play, but they've dropped the pit as well. Now all of the green goo obfuscating the view of the defenses.
Still have a Paranoia to clear for Heretics.
They're playing so far up, too. They have so many numbers. They have a lot of flexibility here. Very nicely done. That's a really nice audible on the fly. That call from FPX to fully commit to it there, not try to play any games, catches Heretics off guard.
But you were just talking about it, Doug. The way that they would hit a site and then pull back and go somewhere else. This time they commit, and it catches Heretics enough off guard that they're able to find some big kills on the way through. A lot of util being exchanged, but it goes the way of FPX off the rip. And then there's not much you can do with that Viper's Pit. Really only one piece of utility left, and that's that Paranoia to try to clear it. Sure, you've got blast packs to maybe get over it for Woot, but when they tried to go for the double swing into it, they were just shut instantly down. And Ion, great awareness. Him and Autumn combining to make sure that that link angle is untenable.
You really need, I mean, you need Pat Attack alive there. You need the dog. You need some sort of other reconnaissance utility to try to create some space there for you. And that just wasn't part of their arsenal in that moment.
Yeah, it's just like on a lot of maps where the Sova is kind of the only answer sometimes to the Viper's Pit. Same thing with the Fade here for for the comp of Team Heretics.
And so into the next we go. FPX with a 3-round lead. Starting to see adjustments and minor maneuvers on both sides of the stage.
And this is one of the things I love about FPX on this map is they read their opponent's economy, know that most of their players are going to be on half armors and go for the Outlaw. They've been doing this so much on this map. And it's just great awareness from their team to be able to punish. Not just in terms of having essentially, you know, what turns into a two-shot operator against those half armors, but you also save a little bit of extra cash for yourself. Potentially upgrade to that operator later. It's all these things that FPX has on this map. Berlin catches Benji Fishy.
Oh, almost punished. But Woot hunts him down. Now what do FPX do off of that? A little 1-for-1. Ideally, Berlin's able to get away from that unscathed, but a lot of space has been taken by Boo, and a lot of info is currently being picked up. He has his paranoia. How does he play his cards? Patience on the swing, and Boo will fall. Life saving the day. Patatek is his ult, but he's so far away, and Rien's is not around much longer.
I love it.
Spike planted.
And that was that Outlaw against Boo. Worth its weight in gold in situations like that. And here's the best part, Doug. You win this round, look at their economy. You can just hang on to it and bank more. And it's so valuable into that next round. It's just awesome the way that FPX manipulates this map in so many different ways.
I mean, there's a very real chance that Life is sitting on another ult at the end of the next round.
Yeah. He had like 3 in the first half against Genji, I think.
The value that he gets out of that's insane.
It's beautiful. And he can upgrade to the Vandal too, that's fine.
All that conversation we had about the Outlaw,
Doesn't matter.
Forget about it.
Yeah.
I do think the conversation is the same though. Because of the way things have played out, they're broke. Fortunately for them, Patatek is going to be able to save that Phantom. But things not looking good for the defense anymore.
No. It's a great pick there. Eventually, Benji Fishy. Yeah, he's so quick with those scopes.
It's a big shot too because Boo, it looked like he was going to feast on FPX there.
But I could kind of tell from the way they were looking when they were walking in there that they suspected that maybe somebody was back there. And again, their awareness through the roof is FPX. And they're just going to go for the full Vandals now. No more Outlaw in play. Figure they have enough money. They're basically max buy anyway. Might as well start going for it. You got the Thrash. You got a Nightfall for Patatek. And Boo gets an opener on Autumn outside of A main.
Autumn was the only one outside of spawn. So oftentimes, as we've seen the meta develop on Lotus, it's more of a default towards trying to take Rebel control and leaving one player to fight for Mound. Or excuse me, the other way around. And Autumn just gets punished.
It's, yeah, generally, especially for FPX, they kind of leave Autumn to his own devices a lot. Kind of lurk around the map, especially when he's on Viper. He'll do it here, he'll do it on Ascent. Sometimes on other maps as well, but a bit of a scrape. Good fault line.
Very nice fault line. And a better use of utility to keep it back. Has to satchel away.
That's a nice pickup to force out that satchel. He has none left. For just a fault line and a paint shells, not too bad.
Berlin used a stun there too, to provide a little bit of extra cover. And so they tap the door A once more, but keep an eye on the minimap and look at where Life is.
30 seconds left.
Got that trap wire to consider though.
But there are 2 players here. This is another vintage hit where they try to go through door and they try to punish, and there it is. Life strikes. Now a 3v3. Lifeswell has to stay alive here. He's to contain. If he can play his life, this is going to work out really nicely. But he's punished. Spike planted a 2v3. Ayang has his ult.
But the Thrash is huge. Oh my.
And he's wrapping. Leaving Life all on his own. Left to survive as much as he can, as long as he can. Buy some time and maybe take a couple with him. A consolation prize, if you will. Only finds one. This is dangerous. He's got to be able to tag them both. Only finds one. Rien's holding the smoke. Crosshair trained. It's a tap and it's a shot from Rien's. And it's another for Heretics.
Just losing some of those out in the open battles, those 1v1s for FPX kind of cost them in the long run. It's a great initial move. But Heretics able to recover and stabilize mostly on the back of good shooting.
We'll take a look at the MasterCard Thrifty once
That's
more.
cool.
That is good shooting. You're absolutely right about that. This was so tough, man. I think
Rians, dude, Rians.
it's always fun to listen to Benji pop off, man. Yeah, but I mean, Rian's kind of saved the day there. That's so tough for Ayong in that situation because he's got to connect with both.
Yep.
Or hit the shot. He's not able to do either there.
Yep.
So you hear the showstopper used at the very beginning of the round.
I mean, I think if FPX could have that round back,
There.
it'd be Life playing his life.
Agreed. Agreed.
This is a free site given over. You know, kind of expecting more CB attention.
And this is where things are a little different. Remember how many times they've made noise A and then they slam through the door and hit B.
Yep.
This time fully committing onto it. And you can see because of the positioning of Heretics, that's what they were expecting. That's where they're ready to fight. And FPX are glad to try to swing through that. Patatek and Wu keep a couple back. Just 2 left now. Lysor and Life. A 2v2. I cleared, Life cleared. And Lysor with 1 HP. Just cannot fight back.
Team Heretics is starting to getting a feel for how this is going. And you're absolutely right, Doug. I mean, they're just starting to understand, you know, when they're not challenged on B quickly or they're not challenged for some of that space and they gave it up, they're ready. These crossfires are brilliant for both sides, but it's Team Heretics who have that extra man to cover both of those angles. Someone on FPX basically has to get a 2-for-1, holding that with the number of players that were coming through for Heretics. And I was just about to say,
A couple of adjustments, so we'll see what that looks like on the other side of this. On the other side of this timeout, you mentioned the ults. They're in abundance on the side of Heretics. 4 online, Patatek's the 1 not available, as you mentioned.
and there's no A pressure at all from FPX, so it should be high alert for these players on B and C that they can just hold the line at the entrances to the sites. You can see he's already ready, thinking about the Cs, trying to catch them and trying to stop them, maybe set up a combo with that aftershock.
I think for FPX here, your objective is to try to draw out one of these ults. Get Woots out, get Rian's out,
Exactly.
from manipulating the map. It seems like that's what they're trying to do. There's one of them used. Oh, but you're not supposed to pay for it with the life, and they don't! The rocket just off the mark! And now Cosmic Divide, invested C, the rotate back B, FPX are back to their antics. Pushing the smoke, but they pass each other like 2 ships in the night! Patatek back on the swing! Boo falls! Patatek dies too! It's a disaster!
How does this happen? I thought that showstopper was going to be brilliant. He's going to get Berlin. He's going to be able to kind of stick behind Mound, maybe get one more. But he beefs it. And it just all starts crumbling off the back of that. It just felt like everything went awry. The dominoes just kept falling one after another. Now Benji, get a couple, just the one. But Doug, that was heartbreak. I like, frankly, the idea behind that round for Heretics. The execution just wasn't there.
I don't know. I think I disagree with you here. I think that was FPX playing textbook FPX. They got the ults out, and yeah, it didn't convert because they weren't able to land the kills under Berlin, but instantly, as soon as that showstopper came out, they pivoted back B. Yep. That's what they wanted to do, and then, obviously, Patatek also botches that situation. The way things panned out, as you mentioned, the dominoes fell, and it was a massive cascade.
Yeah.
And now we enter the last round of the half.
And Rian's never felt comfortable enough to pull the trigger on the Rolling Thunder, so he still has that, but...
Honestly, probably for the best.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. I think as soon as that showstopper whiffed, the call was made, hey, save the rest of your ultimates. Let's not invest too much until we know that we have an opportunity.
No way. Dude, they read him so well. They read the fact that he recalled a smoke to potentially cross, so they invest the nade. They know he's there. He's dead. Yeah, he takes one with him, though.
That's something that FPX does all the time. With these extra layers of smokes, they're crossing. And you never know exactly what they're going to do, but it's just read nicely by Heretics. And who knows, maybe Benji Fishy can go on a lurk, go for an upgrade, but that's a lot of damage to Patatek. 8 HP.
He's got to take a step back. Life dancing around utility somehow gets a fadeaway shot onto Autumn. Unbelievable. 4v4 to close out the half. There's the Rolling Thunder. Do they flood behind it? There's no go. There's no race to satchel up behind or anything like that, so they can't really fill the space. That means Life can pounce. But it's a 1-for-1. Now 2's left. Benji Fishy upgrading weapon. And they're trying to take these fights. They can get these ones if things go their way. It's a shot at it. A 1-for-1. Boo pushing forward. Lysor weak. It's planted for him though.
Cover going out.
The first smoke down. The taps come through for Lysor. He gets his third. It's FPX get to 8.
He's been so good in these clutch moments for FPX in this tournament. Yeah, he may not be lighting up the scoreboard all the time, but goodness, is he good for a couple of these insane clutches. And it looked like it was going to start so well for Team Heretics. They had a good read, and that Rolling Thunder, Doug, I'm right there with you. I thought, just go on the back of it and start flooding. But they pause, and that allows Life to remain underneath that rope undetected. It causes so much damage individually.
An 8-4 first half, and I have really good reason to believe the rest of this will deliver. FPX looked so dominant on their opening half of Lotus, and now it's on Heretics paper thin to respond in kind.
It's going to be on Berlin, potentially, to deal with this aggressive push.
There's a lot on the other side of that. He gets his one, drops the smoke, gets away.
So good. So aware from Berlin. And he's giving up the orb, but taking the kill.
Yeah.
And giving a lot of info over to the rest of his team.
And it was Woot, man. I'll give up an orb for Woot any day of the week.
Any day of the week.
Especially with how much of a terror he was on the first map. The vast majority of the success he had was on the attacking side, so conventional wisdom would suggest that he's gonna find some of that streak again.
Yeah, shutting him down.
Early, you have to.
Yeah, exactly, dude. It's a massive win for Berlin there. And I mean, everybody on FPX knew exactly where he was. They pinged it out. They literally pinged it right on our screen, and they still lost that battle. That's how good FPX is right now. It's insane. Now, gonna be a little bit tricky. Hyung still has a little bit of that utility. Still has the Dizzy. Still has the Wingman in that Gecko arsenal. But the pivot over towards B. Door already open. Fault line to clear. Let's see what Life can do.
Oh, he's really far up. Ooh, he was so far up. I think he was going to re-clear B main without any real awareness of the fact that they fully lost control now. Heretics are going to try to rotate back. They have 10 seconds left. There's a whole lot of delay on the other side of this. This paranoia will be a problem. Oh, again, disaster. Can they commit to the spike? The flood comes out from heaven. It will not go down.
Spike down A.
Neither will FPX. Unbelievable.
I'm stunned, Doug. I thought they had a B plant secured, and that's going to be them having a great opportunity in the post plant. But they make the last second decision to try to throw a curveball. And
they strike out doing so.
Yeah. It's just hit out of the park here by Lysor. He plays it perfectly. He's like, oh, they're coming to me. That's cool. I've got a paranoia and a perfect angle to hit every single one of them. Good luck with that.
It was overcooked. Outlaws back online. On both sides, you see Woot trying to punish there. Meanwhile, on the opposite side of the map, who will fall? Oh, no.
Ion?
Well,
he completely ignored it and went to grab his util.
You know,
Spike down C.
sometimes the real victories are the knife kills we get along the way. That's what I always say.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear it all the time from you. It's classic Doug.
Riens and Woot both alive, both weak, both with weapons though.
One enemy remaining.
And naturally, as I say that, Woot falls. Well, yeah, I think the big consolation prize here in all this was the knife kill. They can forget about how the rest of the map goes. They got theirs.
I can see them smiling. Autumn's got a smile on his face, and they're fine with it. You know, nothing to worry about right now. You're in cruise control here as FPX. You're looking to send this to Icebox. Everything going your way. I mean,
That's just so silly.
it's just. It only happens with FPX playing. It's the only team you're ever going to see something like that with. It is amazing. Just beautiful.
FPX up to 10 though. An ult for Ayang already. TP across in space taken from the attack side. A main is theirs.
Only one player, half armor and a Bulldog. So they went for the full armor and the Guardian. Wary of that Outlaw. Certainly our team Heretics, and you have to be. Let's see how they went. Oh my goodness, this is going to be difficult for Benji Fishy, potentially.
I mean, if they swing into him, he's going to get 3.
Eagle eye.
1, 2, make me a profit. Ah, he only gets 2, but the damage is dealt. Berlin's playing in the smoke, and he's going to be able to counter all this by himself. He just refreshed it as well, so as soon as it goes down, he can pop it back up. He can play it so many different ways.
It's brilliant.
The problem is there's nothing on the other side of this. There's nothing for him to be able to capitalize on his position right now. He's got to swing, and it's dry.
That's tough. I think he was hoping that they would try a different side of the map.
One enemy
Okay, that's great for Boo, catching
My ultimate
Lysor.
is ready.
Trying to make his way, trying to cheat back towards the direction of Heretics'
30
attack.
seconds left.
That's a great read from him.
FPX had all of the makings of converting a bonus, but it's just not going their way. I think the one benefit is they're still going to have enough to buy. They're still going to have Ayang's ult. So there's plenty to consider on the other side, but very well done from Heretics to avoid it. And obviously, Benji Fishy getting his 2 at the beginning of the round and leaving the 3rd in tatters helps.
And it's just, again, this is one of those rounds where it's clear that Heretics had a pretty good idea of what was going to be coming at them and was able to play around it nicely. I'm not sure necessarily that Benji expected 3, but he held the angle perfectly and expected a push out of some kind.
Yeah. So Autumn falls. Heretics will get to 5. Rian's halfway to having his Rolling Thunder online. We'll see how things play out. Yeah, they're going to be able to buy up full. A little bit of light armor on the side of Benji Fishy, but this was huge.
Massive.
And honestly, I'm surprised that the swing out from Autumn was as late as it was. He got 1s that entire time.
Yep. Just a little bit of a stutter step, a little bit of a delay. Might have won him that battle, to be honest.
Oh, there's a lot of aggression going in, man.
Here we
Every
go.
single member, all 5 of them here. You got Rians, who's got the utility in hand, waiting for the right moment to strike, but there's a suck there. Life satcheling forward. The spam snooze coming over the wall. He was distracted by his friendly fire. Berlin landing a shot with the Sheriff.
I know exactly.
A 2v2 now and a neural theft invested. And a slow down from Heretics. They're fully committing onto this. They want to try to isolate
Last player
and
standing.
pick on Lysor. And they managed to do so, getting it down to a 1v1. No utility to Rian's name here. 10 seconds to have his fault line back.
Just a snake bite for Autumn.
It's a guessing game. It's a guessing game, and Autumn has won it. No idea. No way to understand where the opposition was.
It's just crazy. The recovery that FPX has inside of them. You know, I think just Life just seeing the spam coming over him, he's like, certainly my teammate must be shooting at something.
That's what I would think. I'm blind.
Yeah.
I'm going to trust them.
Yeah, I'm just going in and cover me, guys.
That's just so tough in those instances, too, because it's chaos, right? You're just reacting off of what you can see, and
Last player standing.
it just doesn't go his way.
Yeah, but after that, they're clean. I mean, they shut down that attack. They never give enough room over it. Actually, even though Life dies there, he buys that extra room for Berlin to push more towards Rebel, to cover those extra angles, to make it way more difficult for Heretics to get through towards A cleanly. Ults for them to still work, but they're still sitting on the Thrash.
From round 3 of the half.
Yep. Got a Cosmic Divide too. Lysor's ult, yes. That's kind of situational typically. Woot taking a lot of space early. Berlin this time doesn't reveal any of his stars yet. He's just waiting. Now he's going to finally pop that smoke. Dissipates it quickly. Looking to see if he can maybe isolate a 1v1 or something.
He does have an outlaw.
That he does. And it's a good opportunity, potentially. But the lead entry players for Heretics have full armor. But with that That poison cloud, he could get some damage.
This angle's tight, man. This angle's really tight. The suck is good. The shot is as well. The Rolling Thunder, and he doesn't get hit. He's able to stay alive, but goes aggressive with the shorty. Pays for it with his life. Oh, 4v4 now. They're committing the ults. Lysor is rotated over. Life on the swing. Talk about having a plan and doing it no matter what. It's reckless, but it works. Traded in kind. Revenge so sweet.
Unbelievable. And somehow, some way, Berlin finds one of the two players that has half armor.
Yeah. Literally five members there. It's a shell game, and he just got lucky. Better lucky than good.
Unbelievable. Just, I love it. And then Life here just finds a great timing. Steps out. I mean, that's the other thing. See this so many times where you have to be so aware against FPX. And I mean, reasonably, Team Heretics kind of was, but they'll step out at very odd timings. Now, this time they're going to use the fault line to make Berlin a little bit more uncomfortable early, kind of anticipating that he was going to challenge it. What? Okay, Rienz. With a stinger?
Yeah, Berlin got a little, we got a little too confident there. That was bold. To do so blindly.
But Heretics was expecting it the whole time.
Yeah. Drop a couple of cages to cross back over. Heretics with full control, up C. I think the other benefit is Berlin had an outlaw, if I'm not mistaken, so it's not like you're dropping a rifle and giving it back over. Rienz picks it up. They're clearing the trips. And all attention turned towards C. Heretics, they want to take the fight to their doorstep.
Showstopper.
They're swinging out ahead. Ult popped, shot, and Life dead. Blue trying to steady the shot, snapping on a Lysor, but Autumn stops him. Slows things down for just a moment, trying to tip the scales back their way. But it's an overwhelming weight on the other side as Heretics get to 6.
Can't give this Heretics any room to breathe.
No.
You cannot afford to have those moments like Berlin had. Okay, you tried it once, that's fine, you're way ahead. Totally fine. From here on out, if you're gonna challenge him, I'd say let Life do it, and let him do it maybe towards A main or something. Like, that's generally where they find success in those situations. And Life only had half armor in that previous round, so only enough to get a Sheriff. But he's one away from the Showstopper, so could be a play, potentially get him the ult orb towards A, with all 4 of them pushing out a deep smoke as well. I think they're doing their best to try to claim that space, but it's a slow B push.
I think they thought they were going to be playing for the B orb.
Yeah. I think the Viper's pit caused them to pause to make sure it wasn't here, and now that toxic screen there. Let's see how they want to do this. They're just going to try to clear the pit. Looks like they're going to go for it, or at least consider it. But Autumn has a lot of space to work with, but he's stuck on the low ground. So if they kind of read that, could do some damage, but Showstopper not grabbed yet. There it is. Okay. Just took the UI a bit to update there.
It's been buggy.
I was like, certainly they did, right? But at the start of this round, I think Heretics, if they just pressed the go button, might have had a decent opportunity. When that Viper's pick got popped and they realized it wasn't at B. Oh boy.
That's a cue for him to go. He dropped Benji Fish Shimbu. Ion repositioning. The Nightfall out. Berlin trying to steady.
Wow.
Trying to stop. And he does. Berlin holds the line. FPX are taking us the distance. In the face of elimination, they punch back.
Back-to-back dominant maps. Unbelievable that FPX can come back on this.
Icebox will decide it all. We'll see you guys on the other side of this break. Don't go.
Exactly, Doug. It's a best of 1 now. Got to get it done here, or your Shanghai event is over. This could be it. Well, it will be it, for sure, no matter what. But I am really curious to see how FPX plays this defender side. This has been their weaker side of the map so far, especially with this Clove comp. They've been kind of a little bit off, in my opinion. They're a little bit too aggressive sometimes with the Clove. They kind of push out, you know, Life plays like a duelist. I get it. It's in his nature. But a shift over towards B where it is just on Lysor. Good one way.
The feet give him away. Takes a step back though. Lysor now feeling pressure, overwhelmed by all the targets. VCT, she's able to pen him through and drop him. Berlin will fall too. The site fully the way of Heretics here.
One smoke to work with. Just the ruse from Life.
And a triple controller comp to
Right.
say that is just crazy.
Just one. Yeah.
And they have like 25 to play with at the beginning of the round. But alas, that is what they have at their disposal.
Oh.
Flash over the top is Life is going hunting because of course he is.
Oh.
But Woot snaps on him. Unbelievable shot.
That's a beautiful flash from from Autumn. But Woot just kind of gets missed enough by it that he's able to swing and prevent Life from potentially taking that round away from Heretics. Wow, clean opener from Rienz.
Yeah, not too shabby.
Remaining.
Woot just, yep, there you go. He was able to just dodge that flash enough.
Life was going to have a field day.
Oh,
there.
it looked like it, didn't it?
Yeah, he was going to feast.
I thought for sure. And then I'm pretty sure he had a pick-me-up as well. To get in and out of there.
Not going to lie to you, I really respect you for knowing all of the Clove utility names.
Thanks. I mean, their ult is my favorite.
Right there.
It's not dead yet. And because I'm a big Monty Python fan. So,
Nice.
there you go.
Yep. For those of you youngsters that are listening to the broadcast, a quick Google will educate you on a lot.
Great movie. Great movie. It's a full stack towards A. Just Lysor to watch mid, and I think Heretics probably has a pretty good idea that, especially with Clove, you don't want to be messing with that site. Don't want to give any opportunities. That's where Life thrives. And a couple Bulldogs,
Right here.
Guardian, Phantom, and then just that Sheriff for Benji Fishy. And he's going to go exploring, see if he can find anybody. But look where they're hid. They're so cheeky here. He's just playing anti-flash the whole way.
30 seconds left.
You guys got it, right? I'm just going to wait.
They're just saying, well, if they're going to push this site, certainly there's going to be a Patty Tech flash in here. So,
Somebody dies before I do, surely.
and if Life is the one who dies, you know, so what on the A site?
Yeah, that's
Typically,
true.
if that's the way they're going to push.
Yeah. Lysor falls. Heretics looking to get through this as cleanly as possible. If they can carry 4 rifles into the next round, maybe even buy up a Bulldog or something like that and have 5 rifles, that's an outrageously strong third round.
It's all before from them.
Oh, they're going to have to deal with these exits. These exits that are being held. Berlin the first. Classic in hand. Trying to drop Wood and will not. So the other 2 members of FPX will die to the spike. Heretics will keep all of their weaponry.
And I mean, kind of obviously what you expect, but the extra guns carried over are very nice. And now we see what FPX can dial in. See if they can find some success. Again, this is the side of the map where this comp struggles typically. With all those smokes, it's definitely more of an attacker's idea where you're dissecting, you're cutting apart the map and using it to stagger your way forward. You're using it to obscure your movements. There's a lot that goes on with these heavy smoke comps that FPX runs. But it's a little bit tougher for them to accomplish those goals on this defender's side. A spot out already as Heretics already knows where Life wants to go, and they're like, no. Just get down from there. Get off your perch.
They've read him.
And they know he's in this corner.
85 health quickly disintegrated.
So now you have a real question here as Heretics. Do you pull off because of the Clove smokes that they can use from the death? You know, I think I do. I'd probably just say, you know what?
I do think FPX are ahead of it though, because look at their positioning. They're up mid and they're up B long. Berlin falls, unfortunately. They tried stopping them rotating away because I think you're right, and I would agree with you as well. If I know that Clove is dead A, I'm not going to play on that side of the map if I can help it.
I got the spike.
And they do a great job of identifying the positions that FPX is trying to use to keep track of Heretics' movement. The alarm bot's beautiful. Reads Lysor's
Spike planted.
lurk, and then the catch in mid is massive. Berlin goes down, and you're in trouble.
Yeah, it opens up the entire map for Heretics. That was FPX's win con. Given the current state of the map in that moment, that was the win con, cutting off the rotations.
Yep.
And unfortunately, they aren't able to do so. So Heretics look like they are going to be able to convert on this bonus. They are going to be able to carry all of these weapons into the next. The one thing they don't have, if we're going to be splitting hairs here, is that they don't have an ult online. Other than that, I mean, this is perfect.
Remaining.
It's everything you could want. They've been reading everything that FPX wants to do so well. Now, Ayong looking to see if anybody's going to come around that corner. Can't win the battle. Patty Tech's good for it. The bonus converted for Heretics. And they are in cruise control again. I mean, from a purely selfish perspective, Doug, I don't want to see another kind of one-sided map.
Yeah, me neither.
That being said, FPX is known for a bit of an ability to run it back on this map. They did it against Foot, so a rough start again for them on this defender side. You'd prefer to maybe see them shore up some of those defenses a little bit. But here so far, Heretics is very, very aware. Once again, credit to the coaching staff. Niels and Yo doing a great job getting them prepared for this so far.
A lean towards A from Heretics into the stack of the defenses. Obviously, without them really having any idea of that, Life strikes from the position he so comfortably plays on, but this time he has ult he can use. Instantly dropped right back down. Not able to capitalize on it.
Oh, Benji. I was just about to say, it's still a numbers advantage, but once again, Benji Fishy able to best Berlin. You know, with that Killjoy. And versus the Harbor, you know, there's a lot of those high tides put out early, and Benji's just waiting for him, and then sniffing out the positioning that Berlin's taking, and shut him down a couple rounds in a row. So that mid-control battle, oh so crucial for the way that FPX wants to control this map. If they can't kind of just bully you, and in a really quick lockdown here from Benji Fishy.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. A little early.
Bot coming back.
But Lysor's there on the challenge.
Area's clear.
And he's not going to be around for much longer. He dies, pays for it. Now FPX with 2 left, Autumn and Ion. They're going to have to be trying to rotate through mid. Both been tagged by the knife. They've been spotted by the drone, at least Autumn has. And the utility's going to give the other away. But they have to try to get back here. They have to try to disrupt what's happening back yellow.
One enemy remaining.
Wingman doesn't even get it to half. It's a massive response from FPX, but they're not going to be able to get the defuse. They got the kills, but at what cost?
It's really interesting that Heretics go for that early lockdown, and Benji Fishy is pushing off the back of it. Something you kind of got to expect as an opponent, but he's still able to get the better of you. And yeah, okay, you get the ult, but not much you can do off the back of the not dead yet. And I mean, right now FPX is once again trying. What's gonna happen? I don't know. Woot's one away from a Blade Storm. I don't know if he's gonna need it. You know what I mean? Like,
right. Back into the action we go. A little bit of that controller utility instantly used, and Woot dropped. Tried catching a timing, getting up top. Be long.
So you can see the change up here is to just be aggressive at these weakened kind of flanks that Team Heretics was trying to hold. And a lot of attention early in the round was pulled towards the front of A because of Life's typical positioning. And they realized that there was only usually 1 or 2. Patty Tech, though, able to clean up Autumn.
He's so far up. And FPX are not really in a position to fight for this retake. They don't have much. But Lysor repositioning with his ult. Getting back towards spawn. Previously divided, now reunited. And attempting to find some space off of the harbor wall. They will venture forth. The Paranoia intended to help as well as best as it can. But the utility delay is so good. And Rian to slip the net, but he didn't check all the way in the corner, so he's dropped. Berlin on the swing, he falls. All onto Life now. A 1v3, time is of the essence. And he does not have any of it. Heretics full steam ahead.
Great understanding of the map here by Heretics. Heavy numbers shifted over to the other side of the map this time. A lot of space given up on A, and they quickly take advantage of it. The alarm bot there to check for Life's Lurk. All of their homework done. They've completed it. They can go to bed early, or they can stay up play video games if they want. Right now, they are in cruise control.
Just they make it look effortless right now.
They do. Now you're back onto an eco for the side of FPX, a Marshall and 4 Sheriffs. And again, it's the same start here for FPX. 2-2, and then just leaving Autumn all on his lonesome on A.
Pressure spotted and received. There should be enough there to understand that A should be pretty open and easy for the taking. Woot's already dashed back sight.
Benji took a ton of damage though, took a headshot. So that flank control could be tricky, especially with 3 players coming that way.
His utility really feels like a big one there. He's got to stay alive for Autumn with the Woot with the flash in his face, able to get the first and somehow gets a second when he shouldn't have really gotten any of it. But FPX punching back. A 3v3, weapon upgraded onto the Omen. But the spike has been going on for so long, and Heretics are positioning this so well. They were glad to give up the space, but they're going to have to deal with a bit of the utility. Berlin's gotten it to half. They have to check it 3/4 of the way, 80% now, and it's stopped. Finally, Lysor on the other side of the smoke. 20 HP, the spam not connecting. Pad Attack plays it beautifully. There is not enough time. He's gonna get the kill, but is he gonna get the defuse? Holy smokes, he did! Oh, I thought it was over. But the MasterCard thrifty for FPX to get on the board.
Finally! This time around, Heretics kind of checking for an overstack of players towards mid, but they don't fully account for it, and on his way out, Benji Fishy takes a headshot, so he's not able to get that first kill on the backside cleanly. That opens up the angles for the Sheriffs to start doing some damage on the backside. The gun upgrades, the pick-me-up for life to get the overheal, and he comes in swinging, opens up enough space. Okay, here's the blades.
He did need them.
I'm glad.
The timing on the flashes have been really nice.
Yeah, Autumn's really on point.
So uptrap the Woot will not be able to use anymore. Now he's got a goop in his face.
It's not fun.
And he's been spammed through the wall. They've been forced, they've been bullied away from B.
With all that utility you've seen over there, you know that at worst it's 2 over on A, so you can try to punish this. It's been a real overstack towards the B side. And FPX, I think, starting to realize that maybe they can play a little bit more for retakes. It worked in the previous round.
Well, and they have the tools for it here.
Exactly.
Autumn is playing really far up, though. Further up than I expected! But he's able to punish. Almost lands a spam onto the pit. Tucks inside of it. A little friendly fire, not connecting, but that's it. The pit's down. Benji Fishy in a 1v5 gets it down.
No
Trying to res. The timing window has been given. Pad Attack back online. Benji falls. Pad Attack has to do it on his own. A second lease at life. Can he capitalize on the opportunity? No!
The fact that Autumn goes unaccounted for here is massive. He's so sneaky. And gets that open. I mean, this opening kill is just...
That's unlucky.
Yep.
It's unlucky.
Yep.
But honestly, I love the way Autumn played this.
Hit and run.
They knew that there was a ton of presence B.
Yep.
Right? They knew that FPX had a lot of presence B. The knife tagged Autumn.
Yep.
And it could have been any...
And they are going to change up their default just a little bit. Back to kind of more the normal with Life over on A. I think he's going to go on the rope. And I think he's going to...
do a life thing.
Yep. Oh, he went up to pipes. Okay. I thought maybe he'd go for Nest this time, but this is the more typical. But
they rotated off of that so quickly.
Yeah, that's really fast.
And again, they have a lot of retake utility. So it makes sense. I mean, I get it. They've got the Reckoning. They have Autumn's ult.
They've set up 2 players right at this.
That was loud.
That was really loud.
That was very, very loud. Life will fall. Picks right back up. But Woot punishing with 2. How much more can they get here? Life has to get a fight here. He's got to get either an assist or a kill if he wants to come back. 20 HP, is he even going to get the shot to do it? No.
And this is one of those rounds where FPX gets aggressive behind the high tide. We haven't seen it yet, where they've gotten this aggressive. And Team Heretics guesses correctly and waits it out. They have a full stack watching for that push. They were well aware. They probably had seen this in a round before, where when Life has his ult, has the Clove ult, that they might try a mid-push off the back of that high tide. I mean, they're doing that high tide basically every round.
Yeah, they are. They're conditioning behind it for sure.
30 seconds left.
Honestly, that's a situation in which you would expect Life to get up pipes, to fight up 410.
Yep.
Because he's got his ult, but it was a mid-crunch, and you're right, Heretics were wise to it.
Spike
Lightsword
planted.
literally catching a stray. And Autumn left to his devices.
Now, probably gonna go for it. Try to do some damage, but Benji's got it red. Benji should be able to take it down, but Autumn actually wins that.
You were
Great
saying?
peek. I thought Benji had him dead to rights. Autumn was expecting that angle. Autumn's so clean.
He does not seem interested in playing for the spike at all. Any kills that he can find are icing on the cake.
He's one of the few that plays a little more cautious in situations where you feel like maybe a save is a...
This might be a good idea.
Yeah. It's one of the funniest things going back and watching FPX VODs was just how little they saved. They don't care.
It's just not in the playbook, man.
No, man. Just go for it. I mean, it catches teams off guard. Saw it against Foot. Saw it against Gen G. So good from Wu. Clean angles. Great snake bite from Boo. Right at the exit of that tube. Okay, well, you know, FPX got one earlier through those smokes. Now it's Team Heretics' turn. It's all square.
Giving it right back.
Yep.
Early knife, early presence mid.
Oh, that's going to get so much info.
Oh, it got cleared.
Oh, it got cleared. That's big. Now what do you do as Heretics? Do you try to push, try to plant, or do you try to hold for the flank? But they faked it. They've cut back to the other side, Doug. FPX being really tricky to read right now.
Heretics are fully out onto the side here. Boo's watching the flank. Benji Fishy has his ult. But they might not give him enough comfort. They might not give him enough space to invest it. The Thrash used. Woot will go undetected.
Oh my.
You've got to be careful here because they've dropped the Reckoning as well. They've got him corralled all the way back. Woot is the only one who's been separated, torn asunder. Gets his kill.
Ooh. Spike down A. Last
What a
player
mess of a
standing.
round. But through all of that, Autumn's left in a 1v3, now 1v2.
Spikes down.
Heretics still have to go back and scoop it up. They're taking the scenic route.
It's in an uncomfortable spot.
Yeah, and I don't think Autumn realizes that it's down.
That's smart. That knife really smart to check that corner where you can see
30
the spike
seconds
from.
left.
Really well aware there from Pat Attack.
Yeah, Autumn thinks they've already grabbed the spike and they're headed B.
That's fine.
So Heretics should be able to get out onto the spike, or onto the side, excuse me, get the spike down, settle into post plants quite nicely. Autumn's gonna have to take a long walk of shame to the other side of the map. And then try to make a play. He has a knife online, the only bit of utility to his name.
It's gonna have to get it done with the guns. Nope, not gonna happen. Pat Attack reads it.
I mean, he didn't even get a chance to shoot. Pat Attack was just so sharp on it.
Insane. 7-2 now for Heretics. After a couple rounds where it looked like FPX might be able to start stringing together a run of their own on this map. Root just reads Berlin coming. I mean, it's all part of this chaos that FPX is trying to create, trying to come at you from every angle possible, and somehow Team Heretics handles it.
Well, it was in the chaos that they were able to punish FPX.
Exactly. Exactly.
They don't just handle it, they capitalize on it. They use it to their advantage.
Very few teams who can handle that level of scrappiness that FPX brings. Because they're happy to do that. They're happy to drag you down in the mud with them. That's what they want. And huge props to Heretics for being able to handle that. I thought that had FPX written all over it.
Yeah, that looked like disaster. Life tagged early. More of a lean towards A this time. One rifle in the hands of Autumn.
expecting that repeat from Life, but not able to connect the shots. Benji Fishy with the lockdown. Gonna try to back the FPX players off.
And take a look at Boo's positioning on the minimap right now, expecting the flank, which is
Amazing.
how FPX have been wanting to play it, and oftentimes when you see a lockdown used around this area of the map, they're not all going to be approaching from spawn. So he's a step ahead of this here. The Dizzy cleared, he tucks behind, Lysaur's dead, Boo capitalizes on his positioning, and it's a flawless round for Heretics.
I am so impressed right now with Team Heretics. I'm fairly certain somebody on Gen G did the exact same thing, where they hung out and spawned like that. Or maybe it was Foot. Might have been Foot. But anyway.
It's been very impressive, you're right.
Yeah, no, but I mean, just the way that teams are able to kind of read the tendencies of FPX, starting to catch up with them a little bit. As unpredictable as they can look sometimes, there is quite a bit of method to their madness. And then, even then, they lost the pistol in the follow-up to Foot, and then they ran 9 rounds in a row. I mean, it's just absolutely insane that they were able to do that. So this is feeling like maybe the most crucial round that we are going to have on this map in this series.
Gotta convert.
Right here.
No other way to spin it.
And nobody on A for FPX. They leave it completely abandoned. Now finally Autumn is sliding that way a little bit.
What's the cue for them to go? The drone should call us enough of the rotations as Wood Falls not able to get any space. The attack has been blunted.
I'm a bit surprised that they're willing to challenge that as Team Heretics. Okay, that's why.
Yeah.
That works.
Talk about swinging things back their way. That's a brutal second step to this round. Think about it. You get Woot out of the picture.
Right.
Right? You have full control.
And you take Clove out.
Just like that.
And then you can rotate off of the death of Clove to the other side. Don't have to worry about those smokes.
It's just going to be Berlin's utility now to control things, and he's still playing back B. That knife should call for Autumn to come back, to send rotations back A, but nobody's moving.
Doug is literally waving his arms, folks.
They've got to get back here.
I agree.
13 seconds left, and Autumn's ahead of it. He doesn't wait for his teammates. So now it's a 2v4. Patatek has his ult online. Rien's is weak, sure, but FPX have no choice. I know that homework shows that they don't like to save, but
got to go for this one. You have to.
Gonna try.
Yeah. Good luck.
Patatek with 3 on the round. Ion gets his. The spam through. The shots connect from Rien's. Heretics gets up to 9. And this has all of the makings, all of the hints of a stomp, unfortunately, where the potential, the possibility of a second half comeback
One more to go, or will it be overtime, Doug? It is incredible. It is so loud in here. And it is going to blow the roof off this place. If FPX can close it out here, Blade Storm for Woot, the Guardian for Boo. So not quite able to get a full buy going. Our Heretics. It's a lot of riflery. Boo just going fishing off the back of this high tide. A little bit of a lurk from life, and he's got Benji.
FPX have done it once on this stage. Can they do it again? The stakes infinitely greater this time around. History, 4 kills away.
Comes the cascade and the flash. He executes on.
He's trying to peek ahead of this. This is bold, this is risky, this is dangerous. But he waits, trying to get a little bit of a tag with the dart. Woot tries to get up high, has to dash back as Lysor falls. 3v3 with 20 seconds left, and Berlin has gone exploring.
Hunter's Fury for Riens, they could delay.
He's gotten past so much. They have to wait for Berlin to snipe here, and he does, but it's a 1-for-1. The spike now landed. I don't think they're gonna have time. He's gotta land the shots here, and he does. There's no fight, there's no time. We're going to overtime again.
I can't believe it.
Switching sides.
It just took a little too long.
They think they're the best.
And the fact that they pushed that smoke and they use Rien's recon dart to buy just a little bit of extra time there, and then Rian gets his ult online. I thought after, oh my God, like, takes out Benji Fish, that this might be it.
10 seconds left.
This might be their opportunity, but Woot, it's a crispy Blade Storm shot, follows it up with another. And we go into overtime. What has been going on this tournament? These matches are just unfathomable.
And I wouldn't have it any other way.
Oh God, no, it's just been an absolute treat.
Heretics now in this first round of overtime on the attack.
Getting aggressive again.
Right here.
They know.
But they've gotten ahead of all of the Harbor utility. FPX have wasted a lot here to get to this point. They got a Paranoia out, they have a Cascade out.
Exactly.
Meanwhile, Heretics are gonna get onto A, investing very little. Yeah, dash, but a dart over the top. You'll get that back.
FPX just saying our attacker side's so good, let's just flip the map and try it from the other way.
Getting past the alarm bot was Lysor, but the other one's got tagged. Meanwhile, Berlin is gonna try to approach us from the defender spawn by himself. He's just waiting for the right moment to strike. Benji Fishy on the snap, life dead. FPX are falling apart here. This is the side that plagued them. This is the side they struggled on.
They gotta go.
They have to go now. And I think Heretics realize that. They're ahead of it. They know that no options are available. Heretics get to series point.
Benji
Switching
Fishy,
sides.
keeping him fired up. You can see him yelling, rallying his team. And I get what FPX is thinking here, Doug. Try and flip the map, try and create a flank angle, but it's once again read incredibly well by Team Heretics. They're so good at holding their angles, being aware of where FPX can come from. Is there gonna be a timeout? No. And it's an op for Woot. The glass cannon in effect. Never even saw an op. They never got the chance for an op.
No, but remember, he was the hero in the last round of regulation. Now the game potentially being put in his hands. Tournament hopes, dreams of lifting a trophy being potentially put in his hands. And of course, they're rotating back B. This triple controller comp should cause enough fits to where he shouldn't be able to succeed. He shouldn't be able to find value. But execution is a different story.
Yep, they're not giving him any opportunities. just looking to see if they can bait out any util. Benji Fishy, once again in that tube. Being a little bit more patient with it this time. Might be able to hear some of those footsteps.
Fortunately for him, on the patience, there were a whole lot of members there.
Life's gonna wait over in garage. Still Woot holding this angle.
Oh, he misses the shot! But of course, he goes double dipping. Of course, he goes for the swing and he lands it! Life
30
falls!
seconds left.
Can Heretics put him away? Benji Fish is on the flank. Oh, but FPX are striking back.
Oh,
The Cove. The only thing separating them, he heard a footstep, he lands the shots on Berlin. Now a 2v2, the spike planted. They're both so far back. Lysar and Autumn,
just a smoke to work with.
they've got to hold him back.
And a TP. Uses it early.
Everything in their hands. Benji Fish, you creeping forward, looking for a target, nothing given. Footsteps are traded, but Woot fills the space and he falls. Benji on the tap, cannot convert. We go again.
It's unbelievable.
Switching sides. Overtime.
Both teams just have outrageously good attackers' sides. And I can't believe Life losing that fight, and they're still able to get this done. Lysor just beelining it onto the back of the site and wins his trade.
Enemy
And then this sneaky position where they're obscured from the sightlines of their opponents when they push past the orb.
So good.
It works a treat, Doug. There's the time for anything more. But it almost feels like it's just gonna come down to who gets that first defender's round win.
Oh, 1000%. The second dance in this OT window. This time, FPX wisely not choosing to fight mid.
They're looking to play retake on A, but maybe try to hit the plant as it goes down. How close they are to this.
Well, Flood? I mean, do they have the tools?
No, they're gonna wait. Looks like they're gonna wait.
Yeah, try to use a little bit of utility. That flash over the top. Woot hasn't been tagged. Woot hasn't been spotted. Lands the shots onto Berlin. Tries to cover himself, but Life takes care of him. Rian's on the swing. Again, another flash and dink is beautiful. As Rian gets a second. But there's a shot at this defense. Life is here. At least his body is, so the smoke's come into play. Ion almost lands the second. The defense has to be everything, but Boo stops it. And now Lysor, again, in a clutch situation. He's TP'd ahead of it. He had gotten into the pit, he'd gotten into the smoke. But Benji Fisher was wise to it.
Switching sides.
Unbelievable.
Match point.
The reaction there with Boo on that snake bite was instantaneous after that dink from Rians. That was, I mean, to have that reaction is incredible, and then Rians can watch the other angle. What a beautiful play there. Phenomenal awareness from the IGL. Huge, huge. I think we're gonna have another pump of the brakes. Another moment to think about this, and now Heretics with the impetus. Going to see if they can find, finally, some success on that.
Util back there, yeah.
Yeah. Now it is going to be a different setup though from Team Heretics. I would have been pretty surprised to see them go for it again, but something to consider. And FPX 2-2-1, just cutting off that angle towards mid. Are they just going to stack and try to push towards Boiler?
Or I think they're suggesting it, at least.
Yes.
If nothing else,
Oh, and look
they're
at Woot.
threatening that.
They remember, at the very least. Look at this angle. Oh, how do you not win that life? You were watching that. He takes a lot of damage.
Yeah, not only that, Woot gets away without taking any. And that's a massive start.
Still the alarm bot for Boo to play off of. Benji tucked in just past the site. Here we go. We're gonna try it.
Flash will be good. Boo is isolated here. Benji Fishy's kind of close by. But can Heretics hold up? They say defense wins championships. They've got to find a way to do it here. Life just so weak though, and FPX managed to get the spike down. Now we're reset, ripe for it.
There.
Oh my, and look at this lurk. Benji's been watching the whole time.
Oh, but he takes a different path. He doesn't go under tube. Are they gonna be expecting it? Meanwhile, chaos on the site as each kill is traded. 1-on-1. Berlin in 1v2, he's been spotted.
No!
They know where he is, but he's gotten his one. Now, the Cove on the swing. Berlin is close to it, and it's another clutch, another set of OT.
They knew he was coming, and he still wins it!
Overtime.
Time was the factor. Benji Fishy had no choice.
He just has to win that first fight, and Berlin does. They see him crossing through the grates, and it's just scrappy one-for-ones all across the board. And Berlin just swings out and takes down Woot, and that's the round. Has the Cove to cover himself. This is an insane, insane game. One for the ages. Life back to his home on pipes. Back where he belongs. We haven't seen this in a while. Team Heretics, how do they want to deal with it? We have everybody here but Benji. They get to confirm with the knife that he's up there, and Life is still trying to play for it from his own smoke.
Of course he is.
Yes, of course.
It's Life. As it dissipates, he takes a step back. Now peeking forward once more. An opportunistic swing. Massive timing, but of course instantly traded.
This has caused a pause. Lysor and Benji could be a pivotal 1v1 on this flank. Well, now he's gonna have to back out because...
If they're not quiet about this, Berlin will hear all of it.
Yep. He
And
does, he hears it.
And look at the rotations on the minimap. They're already headed back B.
But look what Boo's doing. Oh, did he get caught by
Knife
that?
tag? No.
No. Did not get caught by the knife.
The timing here on Berlin is everything because he's got to
30
understand
seconds
most of
left.
the people pass, but no, he's waiting for the last one. Boo falls. 4v3. Is there a trade? Yes, there is.
Spike
But still,
down
numbers
B.
the way of the defense.
Player standing.
They've done it. They've finally won a defensive side. Can Heretics
Switching sides.
do the same?
Match point.
It's incredible. I love this changeup because we haven't seen Life up on that spot on pipes. They kind of abandoned it. They were playing a lot of retake, and he finds value. He takes Rienz out of the equation. Rienz has been so
One
impactful
enemy remaining.
as this match has gone on. Some of his utility has literally won them rounds. It is pandemonium in here, and it might just explode soon. Berlin creeping forward, inching forward, but look at these nanos on the A site. They're anticipating an A hit. They're giving up some of that information towards mid as well with that deep, deep turret that Benji Fish has set up. They're expecting some kind of push through mid to push. Oh no!
Berlin was so far up. Trying to get inserted, but doing so on his own. So there's no one to trade.
Woot just read that so well. It's again that aggressive nature of FPX. Hurts them a little bit there. Still, got a lot of smokes to work with. Gotta wait for Lysors to come back up. They might just go for this. One more towards the Thrash if they can get the plan off that as well. He just needs one kill and he can get it.
Boo was holding such a tight angle there.
Oh, Lysor.
Lysor's got a really nice spot.
30 seconds
Is he
left.
going to be able to capitalize on it, though? Is anyone going to give him the angle? Is anyone going to give him the target?
Spike planted.
Unaware of the fact that Benji Fish is right beneath him. I don't think he hears him. Oh, but now he's giving his position away. Now he knows where he is. Meanwhile, Mood on the other side with 4. Lysor drops one. Can he 1v3 to close this out? No! The ace for Woot!
Ace.
Insane! We go again! Woot starts this off taking Berlin down, and then takes matters into his own hands.
35 kills for the duelist.
Unbelievable. What a day he's having.
My ult's ready.
If Heretics comes through,
One enemy remaining.
it's going to be in a big part because of the way Wood has stepped up on these duelists. I love it. I love it, Doug.
15 apiece. Into round 31 we go.
Give it your all. You have 2 more days after this if you get a win, minimum, or you have to play again. Keeping that energy high, so important, and I love that Heretics showing us that they've still got it.
He's got to be careful here. He's going to play. He's going to make a play in a position like this.
They got to know.
They knew. Lysor gives his life away.
He's been doing it every time. Benji Fishy's been keeping track of him, and now they finally find the opportunity to punish it. Cannot beat that angle, Berlin.
Nah, not against how Woot's playing, man. No way.
No. Just gonna send a Cloudburst to try to fake it a little bit. That's maybe gonna buy them a couple extra seconds, a lot of extra seconds, because FPX is not moving. Just life. Gonna sit behind A and see if he can get any info as quick as he can. Smoke comes up.
Oh, they're already ahead of it, though.
Yeah, they're way ahead of it.
30 seconds left.
Pure disrespect in the face of utility. Now Life also getting really cheeky here, trying to get his one to get away, but not fully tucking. He's still trying to play around the smoke. He's got so many targets to deal with. Heretics in full control.
Yeah, that can't be the moment for Life. He tried to go big.
Same as Lysor.
Woot's got the blades again.
The air has been sucked out of this room. What can FPX do to spark life once more? That's certainly going to help things. A 2v3 and a winnable one at that. Time is a problem.
Last player standing.
And it's only gotten worse. Berlin's now left alone. Has to try to use some mobility and utility to get it down to this, but I think at this point he's got to stick the defuse. There's no way he can really pull off of this. He's going to get the kills, but the bomb will go off.
Switching sides.
It's just
Match point.
so unbelievable. So much tenacity being shown. But this time it's that early pick onto Lysor. Now you don't have to worry about those flanks as much. And Life tries to go for the hero play and comes up short. And Ayong doing what he can, but there just isn't enough available there. The number is just too strong, the time too low. And we go to an attackers round for FPX. And they're once again throwing out that same high tide. Are they actually going to commit to this mid push? Turret deep if they go full towards A.
Woot's so far up. Berlin has to be aware of it. What a shot!
Unreal.
That'll bring this crowd back to life.
Oh my God.
But we're not done yet. FPX still have much to do, and they have a minute to figure it out.
Nobody has any info.
No, and if they end back A, they're going into all of this KJ utility.
This is just gut feeling for the IGLs. You know, you split it 2-2 as Team Heretics. Try to hedge your bets. And for FPX, throwing that Dizzy out, hasn't bought any rotations just yet, but with that 0 point in the high tide.
Did the knife tag? Did the knife tag the KJ? Oh, it doesn't matter. Even if it did, Benji Fish is still alive, and now it's back up online. They've been able to hold him back so far. Oh, and now the spike is sitting on the ground!
Spike down.
It's all on to Berlin!
30 seconds
He's gonna
left.
swing on a pad attack and get the kill, yes!
He's got to get the plant, though.
How much more can he do?
I don't think he has enough time to rotate.
No, and he's paranoid. He has no idea where they are.
He has to get this plant down soon.
They're just calling his bluff.
Yep.
10 seconds
They're calling his bluff.
Oh, no.
He's going in for the fight.
No.
Gets one. And now the Cove. He should have enough time to plant. Does Boot challenge? Does he swing? Yes, he does. He's up in his